You say, but I say. He does it for a whole chapter. You say, but I say. You say, but I say. What's he saying? You ain't saying what I'm saying. That's a deep revelation, huh? Come on. He came to his own, and his own knew him not. Nothing was made that wasn't made through him, and yet his own rejected him and received him not. Why? Because he was truth, and they were raised in darkness. Man, I'm preaching good, man. You're getting it, too. I see you listening. I'm proud of you. I see you listening. It's good. Some of it's stretching you, too. It's good, man. In a good way. It's good. I'm appreciating your heart. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm excited about what's going on inside of you when I looked in your eyes. Bless you. Father, I ask you continue to give him revelation. Let his heart be. No, that's all right. That's Jesus, man. That's the love of God. No. You keep searching, okay? And you just don't get condemned by nothing, man. God's doing a work in you. You bless him, God, and you put your heart in him like never before. Let him look through your eyes. Let him see what you see. Let him find the perfect peace that you promise in just knowing you, being right with you, and having a clear conscience before you. I thank you, you've washed away everything, God. Nothing can keep him from you. Let him have a great perspective of how you see him, and let his eyes be clear towards others. I bless this young man. Let nothing hinder his race. In Jesus' name. I bless you, son. Okay. Now listen. The day you eat the tree is the day you surely die. The identity that he was created for, the image that he walked in, was lost through sin. Would you understand what I'm saying? Can you agree that that would have been what happened? Love got lost. So every man was born into Adam, Romans 5, and you must be born again. So every one of us was born into what he became after the tree. We were trained by it, we were taught by it, and it was right to us. Come on, you don't have to teach two little tiny kids that can barely talk how to fight over a toy. They never even seen their parents do that. It's possible. Nobody trained them. It was just it's just in their nature. It's called the fall of man. Nobody had to teach a little child to go, no, mine, mine. You never did that. Look how sweet she is. It's ridiculous. And yet they have the capacity to go, no, mine. And then the mother thinks she's failing. And her identity is just shattered. Pastor, what am I doing wrong? Probably nothing. Your little girl's going to need born again someday. So model Christ, and make her hungry. Stop getting frustrated. Stop losing your identity. And stop trying to beat it out of her. I've had mothers come to, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, probably nothing. You know, I know these people. Like you mentioned Jesus and they cry. And their daughter goes, eh. And they're like, oh, does she have a demon? It's like, I've done nothing but be gentle with her. No, it's a nature. She needs born again. Are you guys all right, or are we losing it right now? Are you guys okay? Come on, I've seen this stuff. I've seen parents get their identity so wrapped up in their children that if their children aren't well, they're shipwrecked. Stop calling that normal, guys. That is not normal. That's idolatry. You're actually letting the state of your child decide who you are. And then you're taking it all personal, and if I'd have done a better job parenting, they wouldn't be this way, and now you're carrying a big condemnation rap on your shoulders. Come on. Your child might be doing what they're doing just in willfulness because they want to, and you might have told them the whole truth, and they might be saying, I don't want that right now. It doesn't mean you failed as a parent. You train them up in the way they're to go. You stay in faith. You proclaim life over them in a bedroom with the door closed. Stop living in fear, crying yourself to sleep, and waiting for them to change. You live productive and let light shine. Come on. Anything less is condemnation. Anything less is you finding your identity, and you're letting what they don't see determine what you do see. And yet you're teaching them Jesus and Christianity, and they just see a weak, broken parent. doing? Listen, is God the greatest father there ever was? Does he need a parenting program? Are you sure? Then how come everybody's not running to sit on his lap? Maybe he ought to do better. Maybe God ought to do a little better. Is God the greatest father? Is everybody running to sit on his lap? Is it a problem with the father? Why do we automatically think it's a problem with a parent when a child goes away? It can be, but why does it always have to be? Whoa. Wonder if it's a son issue. Wonder if it's a daughter issue. Wonder if it's just receiving love, a submission issue. Wonder if it's more about the kids sometimes and what they're going through and where they're at. Why is it always a reflection on the parent? We ought to be more secure. Stop buying into condemnation. Come on, there's a few parents that need to hear this. Be honest. Who as a parent needs to really hear this right now? Be honest. Yeah, I see the tears. I'm looking all around. I see the tears. It's important. Listen, this stuff, this is ministry. It's not always at the end at the altar. It's truth. Truth makes you free. Truth makes you free. It's not always some wow at the end. The greatest grace in my heart and my life, I believe, is the ministry of truth. Truth makes you free. In all you're getting, get understanding. Come on, there's parents here, your eyes and your tears. I see it, and I see you mothers. You mothers, for some reason, you really take it heavy, and the dads tend to get a little harder sometimes, and just try to, hey, it'll be all right, whatever, yeah. But yet they're hurting down inside. But the mothers are just, Come on, it doesn't mean you made a mistake. It doesn't mean you did wrong. Listen, my son, I was pastoring, and I had no clue. God never showed me. God talks to me, man. I could tell you story after story of real things, real names, real people, just fun. And yet God never spoke to me about my son. And I don't know if I was in denial or I'm just that innocent. But the whole way through, I would have never thought drugs with my son. I just thought he was struggling because he was my boy. And he felt pressured by my life that he had to do Jesus. He was mad he was in our family because everything was expected of him because of who I was, instead of him just enjoying a relationship with Jesus. Because there was nothing negative about my life. He couldn't point to anything negative. My life, he knows I'm not a hypocrite. He's my son. He has lived with me. You see what I'm saying? But yet this thing was causing a rebellion in him, and I couldn't just get I couldn't get it and understand. So I'd talk to him and help him and try to encourage him. And it was like I was talking to a wall. Whole time he's testing drugs, doing drugs. By 16, he's doing them pretty regular, and I had no clue. Totally clueless. Man of discernment, man of the Spirit. I'm just saying, man. I didn't see a thing. Now he's 18, and I can tell he's way gone. And now he's out of the house, and I don't see him he doesn't even want to talk to me. I find rap songs that he's writing in his bedroom, saying how it'd be better if I was dead so he could go free and live his dream. And I started realizing what was going on with my boy. Never once did I say, boy, I did a bad job parenting. My conscience didn't violate me at all. I'm not being arrogant. I'm not in denial. I didn't live a hypocrite in front of him. I gave him wisdom. I taught him Jesus. And when he looked at my life, he knew I loved God. He's just saying, I don't want that. And it put a rebellion in him because he felt forced. He felt a lot of things. Like people were expecting of him. People didn't realize it. They didn't inadvertently say, oh my goodness, you're pastor's boy. Oh, I bet you're so anointed, so gifted. Man, you're probably going to be just like your daddy. And he's going. And it's not that he disrespected me. It's not that he just was believing one little lie. In that same moment, my wife was believing one little lie. Everybody says hi to me because I'm his wife. They love him, so they acknowledge me. We talked about that. I said, honey, that's such a lie. So many people have bought into that. No, you're precious. You got so much to offer. Come on. And she's like, well, you're supposed to tell me that. It's the right answer. She doesn't have a demon. She's believing wrong. She doesn't need deliverance. She's believing a lie. And the more you believe it, it becomes a stronghold. It infringes on your identity, your destiny, your productivity, and you believe it, and it starts to bind you and rob you and blind you. You know, you say, well, Dan, you're a pretty sad pastor, man. Your kid's running wild, your wife's hurting. I'm glad you're excited, but what about them, brother? You're ministering at the expense of your family. You have no clue what you're even talking about. It wasn't even close to that. I was there for them constantly. My kids had so much reason to do right because I communicated the gospel with them constantly. My son was 22. He knocked on the door, 123 pounds. Hadn't seen him or talked to him for a long time because he was in hiding. Guess where he knocked when he broke? Guess why? Because he knows Daddy's a man of God. Yeah? You know what's cool? No capacity, no temptation to open the door and say, where have you been? What are you doing? Do you have any idea what you've done to the heart of your mother? I didn't even know how to think that way. I just looked out and said, hey, buddy, man, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming over. And he just lost it. He said, can I come in? I said, of course. Am I condoning sin? I'm seeing past it. He has a way greater destiny than what he's just done.